operators, health, everyone feels safe. To help fight the laws, trash, country, interviews, choose parties, face of the living between us and decide on who if you want to help. And it's actually just help for you moderators to your channel. I haven't streamed in since I was in Poland. I'm in Slovenia. I haven't streamed since I was in Slovenia. But Poland has been okay. It's a journey to make it back to the United States. So here I am in Poland. I posted some things on Instagram. Yesterday I tagged some agencies in America since they have my phone listed as America, and I get all these spam calls from a lot of Tennessee numbers. They sent Tennessee. Uh, just a lot of Tennessee numbers, 187 numbers, 1877, I believe. Then there was just a number from Arizona, 928. But I asked the guy at the AT&T store in Arizona if I could change my phone number to a different number than Arizona because I don't plan on going back to Arizona unless stepping foot in Arizona ever again. But when I'm out in public, my phone only rings to Arizona. I dialed a Tennessee number or a Cleveland number, and it didn't go through. It only went through for AT&T. Well, not even AT&T. It only went through for. What did it go through for? I think it only went through for Arizona. That's correct. It only went through for Arizona. For some reason, even when I was out in public trying to use my internet for to get a Uber ride, and then I had to walk around for a little bit and speak to Poland officials. And that video, the sound on that video got muted. I'm not sure if my phone is under surveillance or not, because if it is, then I guess somebody must be behind, because I called 911 here like 3 days ago because I was out in didn't have signal, no service. The signal was going. I had GPS mapped out to a location that's probably like a 20-minute walk, 30-minute walk from here since it snowed here in Poland. Like, 4 days ago probably, and like stuff. But anyways, I made it towards our location because I needed to check my bank account, and I had no internet service. So I was just stuck there for like 10 minutes or so outside. Dialed the 911 number, and since I'm getting charged for international charges on my AT&T bill, it showed it as the United States. So I was talking to the 911 operator. He was like, speaking in Spanish at first, and then he started speaking, well, not Spanish, but it wasn't Polish, but he started speaking something different. And then he spoke English, and I was like, do you know my location? But he didn't really know where my location was because they thought it was the United States still. Like my phone pings, that's Arizona. So yeah, that's why I went back to Arizona because I felt like I was stuck in Arizona because that's where I stopped smoking marijuana at. So I went back to Arizona, and then it wasn't how it was before because my friend, she moved on and started talking to somebody else and was dating that person for the whole 6-month period. And I got to see her before I left, that day before I left, and I noticed she had like got a whole gym in her house and upgraded and stuff, so she's doing good. So I was like, oh, that's what's up. I got her to braid my hair. Then we watched the Simpsons episode. Went and got a little tacos at the taco stand where they do the mariachi at, and then she went to drop me off. Well, we supposed to go to dinner the day before I left, but she canceled for some reason. So yeah, she braided my hair, but it's different when you're on the reserve, like on the native land. Like, it's different when you're out tourist that way. But yeah, we got some. She has like a specific diet, so she kind of be that spicy. But we got some little meat tacos, and then in the car on the way back, he said something that he quit smoking. Well, he still smokes. Like towards it was like in the song on the radio, but she dropped me off. Then that was the last time I seen her. She was. We had a good friendship for the 6 months I lived there. We was like in the same room for 3 months, and then the last 2 months probably I went to a separate room, and then I left and went to the island, and then went back to Tennessee, and then went back to Arizona afterwards. After being in Tennessee for a year. So, what was it, like 6 months? So I was in Arizona for a total of a whole year throughout that time period. And like now, my phone's AT&T phone. I'm here in Warsaw, Poland, and it's just been a lot of stuff that's been going on here. Like in Arizona, I guess it was like real life stuff, but people will leave some bullets outside on the bus stop. It was like the casing of a bullet, but I mean, like a gun casing is probably like this small, but this was like this sort of bullet here. Gun casings outside in Arizona, so in Old Town Cottonwood, because that's where employee housing is. I had housemates there, Nicholas Show, and then my housemate that was in my room, his name was Giovanni. He's from Indonesia, but he would make like he had main intel. Cause when I was living in Tennessee with Taylor at the time, that's what I had got main intel. Cause I seen Wiz Khalifa had used that for his hair. And they use it for horses too. But I ended up buying some main intel when I lived with Taylor. Cause I lived on the east side, then I lived with Taylor, and then I think I got put out at her place and I slept outside, but on the stairs for a night, and then went back in after. But I think I seen her outside of PetSmart when I was in Tennessee. Because I used to work at PetSmart. That was my first job when I had to pay back money when I was on like a year of house arrest. I had to pay back money to Marlene. And I wanted to ask about the Patrick name too. Because I know Reginald Patrick, but I wondered Richard Cannon. But I wanted to ask his name, like middle name Patrick, like where Patrick comes from. I know I'm saying this in public, but I wanted to know where Patrick comes from. Because I know my last name became Cannon after Martin Cannon and Richard Cannon. Because they had, but his last name is Cannon. So I was wondering like where Patrick comes from. Since that's like I wonder if it's like a middle name or something. But I wasn't sure because my last name became my middle name. That's how the adopted thing worked. Cause people made fun of me in school and elementary and stuff before I moved, and I had to add it on because you're like, just get your name the same as my last name, so people won't make fun of you because you'll have the same last name as your adopted mom. So I was like, okay, and then she added that to my name. Then I got it fixed when I was in Tennessee and took care of things. Cause I went back to Tennessee because they kept saying Tennessee and putting base. So I went back there to meet Reggie face to face and Marlene face to face. And she said something about somebody being homeless and her pastor was gonna help them find a place. And I had an apartment at the time that I signed a year lease for. Yeah, they were supposed to move back before by the end of December, but they ended up moving. Well, she ended up having to wait to move because somebody passed away, and then I went to the hospital with them. I was there with them at the hospital. And I just speak because I don't really have anybody else to speak to in person unless I'm out in town or a quiz game. Until I get back to the United States, then things will be like a little bit more different in like Sandusky and Portland area or Cleveland probably. I'll see how things are on the west side. I'm trying to hang out with the Moors and then when I get back there. Cause I was around people that party and I didn't partake in it. So, I mean, I can be around, I guess hang I can hang out and still have like be myself and don't have to be the person to turn up in those type of situations. I'm not sure I get out your nose, but I know some old like terms from this 80s and stuff. I'm 34 because I told Tiana I was 34 and she was 26 or something like that, 25 I believe. But I met her like 2 years, 3 years ago. Well, this is a whole new year, so that was like I said time difference, but that was a whole different time frame. I wasn't pretty sure about Tennessee, but maybe if I end up speaking to somebody in Tennessee, I might head towards that direction. I'm not even sure what the next direction is actually, but this is where I'm at right now here in Warsaw, Poland. It's not the United States for some people. I don't have this phone, but I think the last time I had a roommate like this was in Copper Mountain. I guess probably this distance away. Me and Saint had the same room, and then in Portland, me and Demortis shared a room for probably the whole off season. Then we moved in with Salsa for like 2 weeks before the season started at the GOAT because that was our first season at the GOAT in 2020. GOAT Soup and Whiskey. That was our first season because Saint talked us into. He said, "Yeah, I talked to this guy and he talked to him about bringing y'all on." Then he was like, I can't even remember what he said, but we was just kicking in and chilling in Brooklyn. And then like this door popping up and this, but we was kicking it with Salsa in Portland. Salsa buy me some Rubens at Taco Bell. Buy me Rubens at Taco Bell, and then Salsa instead let us move in with him. That's why I figured out his name. I probably should. I'm just talking loud, but he got the coolest name, his original name. That's why I went back to my original name, cause I stayed with them for like 2 weeks, 1 week, 2 weeks, and that was the first time I got in trouble for going outside during quarantine. And I had to stay in the camper, but I was cool in the camper. The Morals was all in the house and stayed in the house. I stayed in the camper for like a week. The camper was a cool spot back there. We made some browse out there, beer hot dogs, and got to walk around the trails, go golf cart. And he said his neighbor used to shoot at back then. But yeah, it was a cool little spot there that we hung out for a minute. Then we had to go to the island, and then it was on the island for a while, and the power went out, and it was like Curtis' cousin came over to the island. He had some yellow shoes on or something like that. And that was the night after like the power went out. So we was out without power for probably like 5 hours until the next day or something. And so I was getting into altercation with somebody that night. But the GOAT was cool during that season. The 6 months I was a prep cook, dishwasher, helped clean out the mats outside. It was a cool season. I know Sauce wasn't really that happy during that season because he said people was making fun of him during that season. So yeah, I wasn't the one that was picking at him during that time. We used to always just hang out and party and like live the island life throughout that time. Then we went to St. Croix, and St. Croix was different. Sauce showed up there probably after Nick went back to Colorado. Then Sauce showed up. So I was with Adam, 3 Adams. But I mean, they're on my Instagram. 3 Adams, and then me and Adam Patega. Oh yeah, Patega. I haven't hit him up. I know he's from Poland. I forgot, but he changed his Instagram name to Dionte. But I forgot that until just now, and I'm leaving tomorrow. But me and him had the same room, but we had a wall split between our rooms. He was on that side, and I was on this side. But we shared the same space until Demorris had left and went to California after his pops passed away. And then I moved into the Morris room up front and cleaned out the back room. Then Patega had his own room. And I think after Easton and Adam left, it was just me and Patega and Saint at the house. And Adam, Salsa was there. But he ended up leaving. I think he probably left with I think he left with Nick. No, I think he probably left with Sasha left with Easton and Adam, I believe. Because Trevor was still there and Nick was still there, but they stayed in the house with Marissa and Carol, because that's where we watched the Logan Paul fight at. Then, yeah, at the house it was just me, saying Adam at the house until it was time for us to leave. It's me, Trevor, Nick, and Adam. Me, Trevor, Nick, and Saint all had the same ticket back for the same day on April 21st. But then Trevor, the day before, because I seen Trevor at the gas station after I got my stuff over at Gibbs Spot, and I seen him there, but Trevor got his ticket changed to the next day. I didn't know why, but he got changed to the next day. And then I didn't see Trevor after St. Croix, besides on social media, because he was hanging out with like MGK and the whole MGK squad. I'm not sure what the squad is, but he was hanging out with them in Cleveland. I had messaged them asking to hang out sometime in Cleveland, but he had to help his girlfriend move to the west side. Yeah, that was some seasons over there on St. Croix, and then on the island. I actually stopped by to go up there on, what was that, 2022? Because I had stopped by Nick's place because Nick brought me my stuff in Finley. That's how I still have my things from 2016, 14, 13, because Nick, he held onto my stuff in the garage out there on Put Bay, and then brought it to me in Philly. Some of it was mildew, but like a jacket I bought in Mansfield. And I had the second suicide attempt in Mansfield. And then my family came and took Bethany out to eat because I was in middle school through the first one. Dionte, I was in middle school when the first one happened, but the second one was in Mansfield, and then Bethany took me to the hospital and stuff afterwards and dropped me off there. And then I was there going through the whole little process because I didn't explain what happened, but they put me through all different types of machines there. And then gave me an IV. I was hooked up to the IV for a while. to get my body back right. And then they released me. My family came to Mansfield, my aunts and uh, I think my sister came, cousin came. They went to Mansfield and took us out to eat, and definitely out to eat, and we all went out to eat as a family. I would say. Then after that, we kind of got our distance away from each other, and she asked me to move out, so I moved back to Bedford afterwards. But I got like some shoes and boots and like a ring, so I was like, oh, I'm not trying to leave because the neighbor said I could buy their car. But yeah, that didn't work out, so I ended up moving back to Bedford after that. And I had a different perspective on life after that. I was like some stress, depression stuff during that time, and those certain moments when both of those times happened. Because like in those moments, I was like not in a good place to be in. But once I was able to like leave from where I was at the first time and go out and like actually experience like not experience life, but have like a little bit more freedom, I was able to be more chill and like be able to speak more. But I do like be able to speak more and stuff. But yeah, I had told someone, I was like, yeah, during that second attempt, I had like woke up, and well, it was just like darkness, but I just was sleeping, then I woke up because I went to work and stuff the next day. But it was like the same kind of thing with the first time. But being that young and having to go through those different types of things, and it was like being locked into like a little small space and having to just but having that freedom, like a different mindset afterwards, was a different thing. But yeah, I've been sober on the sober thing since St. Croix. I've kept my nose clean since the Virgin Islands in 2021. So, and I had to spend 6 months in the rehabilitation place. I learned by Loner Dunes and like the Blue Book and the different steps of being sober. I didn't have to take classes for the 6 months, but we were able to leave probably 3 months in after different classes, like different phases of the Salvation Army. I think it was phase 2. We got to leave off property. Phase 3, we got a night pass or weekend pass to leave. So phase 4, we were supposed to be allowed to go upstairs to the room upstairs, but nobody ever went to that. And phase after graduation phase is when me and Dale were roommates. But before graduation, Dale and D'Anthony was roommates, but me and Dale became roommates after graduation. But Dale was just right up the hall. Like Mills, Zay, we all was in the same graduation class, like week after each other. So I got to I guess meet them in person, I believe, and spend 6 months with them. But that was like the thing. Spend 6 months here, spend 6 months here, spend 6 months here. I spent 6 months at Tiana's and 6 months at the Enchantment Resort. But the pool, I like the swimming pool more than I did the kitchen. So that's what I'm trying to do, like dishwashing next time or not be on the line. But I know some familiar faces on the island, so I gotta do like a little dishwashing or probably not the bar scene security, but probably dishwashing. Or maybe I know I got asked to sign a contract over at the boathouse for a year I'm not sure if that offer is still available. But I guess I'll message some people once I get back to Ohio and see if I could sign a contract and stay on the island for the winter and not have to leave. Because that's when I had the brain bleed, was when I stayed there during the winter time and did construction. I might have to, I don't know how to message the construction guy there because I thought I paid him when I did construction. But because I try to make sure my bills are taken care of and pay people back who but I'll see once I get back to US and hopefully get these things taken care of. For right now, I'm here in Warsaw. Got to check out downtown, the Christmas lights, and I think somebody took like a cool video, but some of my videos got deleted, so I wasn't able to post them. Yeah, because I got some number. Unique Waffles is like number one. It says Abigail Carpenter. Unique Waffles. Thank y'all. Subscribers, actually. That's cool. Martin Harper. 50 XP for Unique Waffles. PT Cruiser, 25 XP. Cinderella, Abigail Carpenter, 25 XP. Martin Harper, 4988, 25 XP. So, thank y'all for subscribing. If you know some other people, I just like to listen. Just tell them hit the subscribe button. And make sure you hit the notification so you can tune in next time I go live.